Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Evolve video. For this one, this is actually going to be a tips and tricks video. Since you guys have been requesting for tips and tricks, I'm going to do one for the assaults in this video. I will be doing other separate videos for the other classes as well, like Trapper, Medic, and Support, and even Monster. So stay tuned for that. But for this video, we're just going to do the assault. And for the first one, I'm going to start off with Markov. So Markov for me is actually my least favorite assault because he doesn't do much damage at all. So I never use him. That's why I have no stars completed for him right here in the masteries. But he is decent when he is played by actual good Markov players. I am not a good Markov player, so that's probably why I never like using him, because I never get any damage out of him. But he is decent when played by somewhat good players. In my opinion, he's not. But yeah. So the stuff that I'm gonna recommend for Markov, the let's start off with the basics for. Let's compare him to Blitz Markov. So regular Markov compared to Blitz, his assault rifle has a bigger clip. It has more ammo, but has a smaller fire rate, so it's not as fast as the Blitz Markov's rifle, but it does have more ammo. His Tesla gun can only it his Tesla gun has a longer range, but does less damage than Blitz Markov's Tesla gun. So yeah, that's with those two weapons. And the arc mines, I believe his arc mines, they don't do as much damage either as Blitz Markov's arc mines, but they do charge up quicker, but they do less damage. So those are the comparisons for those two. In case you wanted to know, Blitz Markov's clip has less ammo but faster fire rate, and Blitz Markov's Tesla gun has a shorter range but does more damage than regular Markov. So for regular Markov, what I'm gonna recommend, I recommend this perk for both him and Blitz Markov. I usually go capacity because capacity gives more ammo to the Tesla gun, so it allows it to be used far longer than normally on default. So my tips and tricks for him would be, when you're playing as Markov, if you plan on playing him, I would spread out the mines around as much as possible. If you're in a dome with the monster, I recommend putting the mines where the monster is normally going to run through. So if he's focusing a hunter, try to take a little bit of time to set up a couple mines around in the area. Make sure to spread them out. The only real monsters that can really counter Markov and Blitz Markov are Goliath because of his fire breath, and Behemoth because of his fissure and lava bombs, and also Gorgon because of her acid spit. So those three are really the ones that counter Markov, his mines. The rest do not. So if you're playing against a Wraith is gonna be a perfect match against Markov. Markov can do a lot of damage to her. Blitz Markov for sure will do a lot of damage. Regular Markov might take some time, but it's still a good matchup. And with Kraken, no. While the mines will be useful, Kraken is rarely on the ground. He's mostly gonna be flying up in the air, so it's gonna be hard to get some mine damage off on him. You might not ever get mine damage off him because Kraken players usually never come to the ground. Elder Kraken is a different story. You will get some damage on him with the mines. It depends on how much he uses Death Spiral, because Death Spiral can destroy the mines. So that's why it's good to spread them out. So the Death Spiral isn't a wide attack. It doesn't it just goes straight ahead. So it's good to spread them out. That way he doesn't take them out all at once. And of course, and also, Meteor Goliath is also a counter to Markov because of the fire breath too, especially with Meteor Goliath because his fire breath is much longer. It has a bigger radius, so it's going to take out the mines easily. But yeah, so with Markov, spread out the mines and use your Tesla gun majority of the time. If you run out of ammo on the Tesla, make sure to switch to your assault rifle and use the assault rifle until the ammo is gone. And then once the ammo is gone, go back to your Tesla gun. And if there are no mines set up in the dome fight, make sure to put some down, but don't spend too much time setting up mines because you want to get as much damage in as possible. So those are my tips for Markov, and of course, make sure to use your personal shield when the monster is focusing you so you don't die. So that's a good one. That's some tips for Markov. Make sure. Again, I really don't use him that much, so I don't really have that many to give for Markov. But for Blitz, I do play him every now and then. As you can see, I do have 2 stars in his Tesla gun. I have 2 stars in his assault rifle and 2 in his Tesla mine. So I do use him a decent amount, but again, not as often. But I do use him, so I can give you tips on him. Again, when you're choosing a perk for Blitz Markov, and this again goes for Markov, make sure to select capacity. Again, it will give you more ammo in the Tesla gun, allowing you to use it far longer. So that's a good thing to use. Remember to use your Tesla gun all the way down till it has no ammo left, then switch to your assault rifle. Use the assault rifle as much as you can until it's empty. The assault rifle on Blitz Markov is going to empty out much faster because it has far less ammo. I believe regular Markov's ammo on his assault rifle has like 100 bullets or 90. Regular Blitz Markov has only 25 bullets in his assault rifle, so it's going to run out much quicker. So you're going to be switching back and forth quite a bit more than regular Markov. So again, switch back and forth. Remember to set up your Tesla mines in the dome whenever you get a chance. Don't spend too much time doing it because again, you want to get damage in as much as possible. So take out your Tesla mines, maybe put 1 or 2 down quickly, get some damage in, and then put another one down if you get the chance. And remember, when you're setting up your mines, let's say in the dome fight, you have a monster cornered, or even better, if there's a dome and it has a lot of loops, and what I mean by loops is that a lot of areas where the monster can run around, like around buildings and mountains to avoid the hunters, to avoid taking damage, make sure to place mines in those areas where the monster is constantly running through to avoid the hunters. Because if the monster decides to run there again, of course he's going to run into a mine. Or better yet, if he's about to go there, he sees a mine and he avoids it. And then he can't go through there because he doesn't want to take the damage. So he tries to go back the other way and he runs into the hunters. So again, let me better explain that. Let's say you're in a dome. There's a lot of loops, a lot of mountains in the area, a lot of walls where the monster can run around to avoid getting hit by the hunters. What you want to do is you want to drop some mines around those loops in those areas. So that way, if the monster keeps looping around that spot to avoid the hunters, he's going to run into the mines. And if he sees the mines and he doesn't run into them, that's fine. That means he's getting blocked off from going that route again. Because think of your mines as like an obstacle for the monster. It's going to stop the player from wanting to go through that area to take damage. So he's going to try a different route to avoid those mines. And then that's when you can kind of get him off balance, get him out of that loop and start getting some damage on him. So that's what I recommend. I will have I might actually do a video explanation of that in the future. Maybe in like tomorrow or something. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's better if I explain in a video, like actually showing it rather than talking about it. You guys might understand it better. But yeah, and another thing too, the Tesla mines for Blitz Markov, they charge up a little bit slower or faster. I'm not sure. I think they charge slower than regular Markov, but they do a lot more damage. So Markov's mines, they kind of turn bluish when they're charged. Blitz Markov's mines will turn from blue to like a purple. No, it will go from blue to red and then to orange. So think of it like stages. His mines will be like a bluish as the stage 1, and then it will turn into like a red for stage 2, doing like moderate damage, and then they'll go into orange where they do maximum damage. So of course the purple or the blue will be like a minimal damage. It's not going to do that much. It will go into red for moderate damage, and then of course the orange for maximum damage. Once it hits orange, that's how you know it's maximally charged. Maximum charge, not maximally. I don't know why it's but yeah, that's gonna be some tips for Markov. Remember also to pick a perk that's capacity. Again, you can really choose whichever perk you want. I'm not trying to like tell you guys how to play, but my recommendation is to choose capacity. That's what I always run with the Markovs because it gives more ammo to the Tesla gun, which in turn lets you do more damage. So moving on, we're gonna go into Hyde. Now for Hyde, there's a specific way you should play Hyde, and it's really not hard at all. So when you're playing Hyde, first of all, when the perk you're gonna choose, I normally go damage output. So for more damage, you can choose any perk you want, but that's the one I go. Um, it doesn't really matter which perk you choose for Hyde. To be honest, it could be anything. It could be damage output, jetpack recharge, whatever you want. I normally will not pick switch speed. Do not do that. I recommend not choosing that perk because you're gonna be switching regardless anyways until you're out of ammo. So do not pick that one because it's not worth it. Now getting into the specific playstyle for him, what you're gonna want to do is this is how you want to play Hyde. You want to throw a toxic grenade right at the monster, and as soon as you throw a toxic grenade, start using your flamethrower on him. Continue using your flamethrower on him until it runs out. And because here's the thing, as soon as your flamethrower runs out, if you used your toxic grenade before using your flamethrower will run out at exactly the same time your toxic grenade recharges back as soon as it comes back. So if you use your toxic grenade and then immediately start using your flamethrower, your toxic grenade will recharge and come back as soon as your flamethrower depletes completely. So when that happens, once your flamethrower runs out, immediately switch back to your toxic grenade, throw it again at the monster, and then switch right back to the flamethrower and continue flaming him. Now, if the monster is not close to you, like let's say you're not close enough to the monster to get any flame damage on him, that's fine. Just use your minigun in the fight, but try not to use it too much because it doesn't do as much damage as the flamethrower, obviously. But yeah, if you're not close enough to the monster, if you're not gonna get any damage on the monster with the flamethrower, just use your minigun. That's fine. It still does damage. At least you're doing some damage, but it won't be as much as the flamethrower. But if you can, use your flamethrower, not the minigun. Only use the minigun if you're chasing the monster, and that's it. Literally, that's the only time you should use your minigun is when you're chasing the monster and you see him. But do not shoot the monster with the minigun when you're chasing him if he has armor. If you're chasing the monster and he has armor, all you're doing is giving the game is thinking that you're in a fight, that the monster is in a fight, and it's giving the monster stamina back. Because you guys probably didn't know this, but anytime you're in a fight with the monster will get stamina back quicker because it's in a fight with the hunters. Anytime it thinks it's in a fight, the monster will regenerate stamina and traversal much faster. So that's why you shouldn't shoot the monster when you're chasing him if he has armor. If he doesn't have armor, obviously you should shoot him because you'll get some health damage. But if not, just chase the monster, don't even shoot him unless he has no armor. And I'm not sure why that's how the game works. The monster gets traversals back quicker when it thinks that it's in a fight with the hunters. It gives it traversals back quicker, but if the monster is not in a fight, like if the game knows that the monster is not in a fight, it doesn't give it traversal back faster, it just recharges normally. So yeah, that's some tips and tricks for you for Hyde. Remember, use your toxic grenade first, switch to the flamethrower immediately, use it up until it's empty, and then switch back to toxic grenade, and then switch back to flamethrower, and just repeat the cycle. If you're not close enough to the monster, use the minigun for damage. And that's it. Do not shoot the monster when you're chasing him, otherwise you'll give him traversals. And if that happens, he's gonna keep traversing, and then it's gonna take a lot longer for you to catch up to him. So those are my tips for Hyde. Again, I use damage output as the perk. You can use whatever perk you want. So moving on, we're gonna be going to Parnell. Now, Parnell is probably the easiest assault that you can play as, and he's also the best assault in the game. He does the most damage out of any other assault in the game, and he's also the easiest to play as. Like you really don't need any skill when it comes to Parnell. All you gotta do is just point and shoot. That's about it. But there is another specific way to play Parnell, obviously. So what you're gonna want to do is for perks, let's start off with perks. I go movement speed because I want to catch up. Parnell is very slow, so it takes him a while to run. And I want movement speed to catch up to the monster a lot quicker because again, with Parnell, he has the shotgun and the rocket launcher. You need to actually hit the monster with those weapons to get some damage in. So if you're constantly running in the dome to catch up to the monster to fight him or to shoot him, you're gonna be wasting time to get damaged. So if the monster is constantly running away from assault in the dome, it's gonna take some time for Parnell to catch up to him and to get some damage in, and you're not gonna, by the time you actually start doing some damage, the dome drops. So use the movement speed perk, that way you're faster, you can run up to the monster a lot quicker, and you're not spending so much time running after him. Use your combat shotgun first, and then when the shotgun runs out, switch to the rocket launcher, and then use up the rocket launcher until it runs out, and then switch back to the shotgun. Now, you might be thinking, oh, should I use the swap speed perk for this because I'm constantly switching between the two? I used to do that. I used to use the swap speed perk on him, and then I got some tips from some other players that have been playing as long as I have, but they know more about the game than I do. They said that the swap speed perk is not really needed. You don't need swap speed, you just need movement speed, because you're going to be switching anyway, so you don't need to switch faster. And I was like, okay, but I thought switching faster would be better because I'm constantly switching between the two. They said it doesn't really matter because you're just going to be doing the same amount of damage anyways. So switching faster doesn't let you actually do more damage. It just does the same amount. So it's kind of a waste of a perk. I know. I didn't really notice. I didn't even know this for a while. I've been playing this game since 2015, since release on Xbox, and I never knew this. They actually told me about this, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I would use movement speed, not swap speed. Use the super soldier, pop super soldier when you have it. Use the shotgun until it's empty, and then switch to the rocket launcher. Use it until it's empty. And then switch back to the shotgun and rinse and repeat. Keep doing that. And if Super Soldier comes back, you pop it again and then keep rinsing and repeating the previous steps. And that's basically it with Parnell. I mean, it's kind of the same with Hyde, but Parnell is a lot easier because he does the most damage. And I'm gonna give you another tip for you guys. If you're running a Parnell, I recommend, if you can, ask your medic to use Val. If they can, to select Val, and the reason why I tell you this is because Val and Parnell, that is a really good combo. And why is that? Because Val can shoot hit points, hit markers on the monster. You know those little circles that you see on the monster? Those are like hit points. And with Parnell, he can shoot those with a shotgun, and it does an insane amount of damage. So it's really good if you're using Parnell to pair him with Val. Val and Parnell, Val will do the hit points. She'll shoot her sniper at the monster, putting some hit points on the monster. And then Parnell shoots those hit points with his shotgun, and it does an insane amount of damage. I've seen this before. I've seen a Val shoot a hit point on the monster's head. You know, getting a headshot marker, a head hit point, and then Parnell will shoot it. And the amount of damage that the monster took from getting hit in the head, because you already deal extra damage, bonus damage for hitting the monster in the head, doing headshot damage. But with Val's hit point doing that bonus damage, it's insane. Like, you can rip off the entire armor bar in like 5 seconds if you're constantly hitting the head with the hit point. So that's why Val and Parnell are really, really good to pair together. So I highly recommend you guys do that if you can. You don't have to. The medic can select whatever medic they want to play as. It doesn't really matter, but if you're playing Parnell, I highly recommend Val. Highly. Alright guys, sorry for the weird cut there. I had to do something real quick, but I'm back. Moving on to the next assault, we're going to be talking about Torvald. Now for Torvald, the perk that I recommend with Torvald is going to be capacity. And the reason why is because you get extra motors in the, basically, like capacity gives you extra ammo. So anytime you use capacity on any assault, you're going to be getting extra ammo on any weapon on there. The only one that doesn't get this boost is Lennox, because she doesn't have ammo. She has the plasma lance. It does work on her machine gun, I believe, but again, no, I don't recommend using capacity on Lennox. That's a waste of a perk. But we'll get to Lennox later. We're talking about Torvald now. So Torvald, yes, you should use capacity. You get extra motors to shoot. You get extra ammo in your shotgun, and it just works really good. Now, the way to play Torvald, you just gotta throw your shrapnel grenade not all the time. Just throw it every so often at the monster, so the monster constantly has hit markers on him. You don't have to throw it every second, but just make sure you're throwing it every so often so that the monster constantly has hit points on him for the hunters to shoot at and deal damage. Now, yeah. Throw the shrapnel grenade at him. Start using your shotgun for a little bit. When it runs out of when you're reloading the shotgun, switch to your motors. Make sure you're shooting the motors where the hunters are at. Now, if the monster is targeting, let's say, Trapper, make sure to shoot the motors on top of Trapper, not where the monster is at, because eventually, by the time the motors decide to land, or they're about to land, the monster's not there anymore. So you're just going to be hitting nothing. You want to shoot the motors on the hunter, so when the motors finally land, they're actually going to be landing on the monster. Because if the monster is targeting the hunter, they're gonna be moving. You know, they're constantly moving forward, or you know, wherever direction they're moving to, the motors are gonna be landing there. By the time by the time the motors land, they'll be hitting the monster. So yeah, basically throw the motors down on the hunters. That's my recommendation. So like, I think it's better if I show you guys. So I'm actually gonna go into a match here and show you guys what I mean. Be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back here with a match. So as you can see, Goliath is currently targeting one of these hunters. You want to shoot the motors right there where he's gonna be at, and then that's how you kind of get the damage in. So he's kind of targeting me right now, so it's gonna be difficult to get some motors in, but I could, you know, work around that. So he is currently targeting Trapper. Let's put some motors on Trapper, and then there you go. I landed someone there. You gotta really shoot it directly on the hunters. That's how you get the damage in. That's how you do it. You want to shoot it directly on the hunter, because by the time the motors are about to land, their monster will be in its path, and then the motors will land right on top of the monster. So that's why it's good to do that. You do not want to throw the motors on top of the monster, because by the time the motors are about to land, the monster will be gone, and then you're basically not hitting him at all. You're not really hitting him at all, because the monster's not there. He's not going to be taking any damage from the motors. Your motors are basically your big source of damage for Torvald. They do the most damage, so you want to make sure you're landing them all the time. The shotgun is good, but it's not enough, you know? You can't just rely on the shotgun all the time. Unless you're playing with Kraken, against a Kraken as Torvald, then that's where we have to change it up. You want to make sure you're underneath Kraken. I know that sounds weird, but you want to make sure that you're directly underneath Kraken, so you can shoot your motors directly up like this, and you can hit them. Because you're not going to get motors just shooting, because again, Kraken is not on the ground. It's going to be hard to get him. So that's my recommendation. As you can see, I'm currently shooting him right now. He's going to hopefully go for someone other than me, and I guess not. So let's see who he's going for. He's going for Trapper. You want to heal? Oh my god. That's why it sucks playing against bots, because it's like not fun. It's not fun playing it with bots. But yeah. That's what you want to do. I'm gonna see if I can get another dome here, guys, to further show you what I mean. And then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back in another dome. I'm basically the one chasing the monster and trapping him because Trapper bot is very terrible. But yeah. So here we got him in the corner here. This is a great spot. With Torvald, you want to make sure you get the high ground because it's a lot easier to shoot the motors. Shoot it. Okay, well right there, again, that was a pretty decent demonstration. You want to get it directly on the hunters. Right now, he's kindly moving in this direction, so I'm going to get some motors there. Some of them got hit on him, but he changed direction because he knew that the motors were going to land there. At least I think he does. He is a bot, but I'm assuming he does. So, guess hopefully, I want to see if that lands on him. That did not. Okay, well, guys, I will get one more dome in, maybe. And then I'll show you guys what I mean again, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we're back with another match here, another dome fight here. As you can see, he's going for Rogue Bow, it seems, so I'm gonna drop the motors directly on Rogue Bow, and look at that. Directly on top of him, perfect motors. He is underground now, so it's gonna be tough to get them. Yeah, I won't be able to do that. Do remember to constantly keep shrapnel on him. Always throw shrapnel. Like, again, he's underneath there. I won't be able to do it. So let's wait for him to come outside. He is going in on her right now. That's what she's doing. Yeah, we see him. Get some shotgun damage on him. He's kind of trapping Sunny there in the corner. I won't be able to do anything about that. He's going outside, so watch this, guys. Right on top. He didn't go for it that time, but that's fine. Oh my god. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, that sucks. Get him up, get him up, get him up. Sunny? Oh my god, that's... What a betrayal, Sunny. You're just sitting there? You see, that's why it's not good to rely on the bots, guys. It's not good to rely on bots. Let me see if I can actually pick Assault up right here. Oh no! I'm gonna try to scavenge, salvage this right here. I might die. Oh my god. Might die here, but I think I can survive. Guys, come on, come on. Oh my god. I survived. I barely survived. Let me see if I can pick up Assault. Ah, no. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have to dip. Right now, I'm just going to have to dip. I'm going to continue jumping because this is another tip right here for you guys. Make sure if you're running from the monster and you're cloaked, make sure you're constantly jumping. Constantly jumping, because if you're off the ground, you don't leave tracks. So it's always good to keep jumping, but don't use your jetpack because the monster can see you using your jetpack. So that's why you just need to jump. Just jump, leave less tracks, and then, yeah, make sure you don't use your jetpack. All right, I'm gonna die here, but they might come back in time. They might come back in time. Drop, 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 drop. Yes. Oh no. Oh no. At least I got them back though. I got him back. So when Assault comes back in, I'll switch to him now. Should be dropping in a second here. I'll be able to switch to him. I guess I gotta wait for the animation to go in. Alright, there we go. Alright, so he is... Get the shrapnel on him. Get some shotgun damage right there. He is going for Val right there. Shoot the motors directly on Val. As you can see, look at that damage. Again, keep some shrapnel on him. He is going for Maggie, want to put some motors on Maggie. Again, more shrapnel. Put the motors right here because he's gonna go right there, and then there you go. That's how you do it. So you basically you're just gonna be shooting motors where you think the monster is gonna be going at, or where you know he's gonna be going at. That way, by the time the motors land, they do the damage. You know, they hit them. So hopefully that was a good example. If you guys need a better one, do let me know down in the comments below, and I can make a separate video showcasing that. But I believe I was able to show it right there, so hopefully you guys got the idea. I'm going to be moving on to the next hunter, so I'll see you guys there. Alright guys, we're back. So we're going to be moving on from Torvald. Hopefully I was able to give some decent tips here for these hunters. I'm not really the best at giving out tips and tricks because I'm still learning some stuff myself, so I do apologize if I'm leaving out things that might be important. But yeah. Let's move on to the next one, Lennox. And I believe Lennox, yep, is the last one. So for Lennox, if you're going up against a Goliath, this is just to start off right off the bat. If you're going up against a Goliath, use Lennox. I beg you, please use Lennox. She is so good against Goliath. I mean, I sometimes call her the anti-Goliath because she really is a counter to him. Do not use her. I mean, you're not gonna know which monster gets picked before the match begins because they hide, you know, the characters. So you really don't know who's picking who. But if you, but please, I know this is difficult to do and practically impossible. But please avoid picking Lennox if there's a Kraken. I know you're not gonna know which monster is being picked. So, but if you know in your gut that it's gonna be a Kraken, do not pick Lennox. And I'm sure that's obvious because, you know, I'm sure that's obvious enough because the only way Lennox could do any sort of damage to Kraken is with her machine gun, and the machine gun sucks. It does not do damage at all. That's why you need to rely on the plasma lance. But yeah, if you go up against a Kraken, good luck to you. But you might get lucky and do some decent damage here and there with the plasma lance if you get close enough. But you're most likely going to be relying on your machine gun, which won't do anything. You're practically going to be relying on the rest of your team to do the damage if you're up against a Kraken. But yeah, moving on from that, Lennox is the perfect hunter against Goliath. She is so good against him. And the perk that I'm going to be recommending for Lennox is damage output. It is amazing how much damage she can do if she continuously hits her plasma lance repeatedly over and over and over without taking if you're constantly hitting the plasma lance without it resetting to level 1, like if you get it to level 4 and you just continuously hit level 4 over and over and over without it resetting, with the damage output perk, you're going to be doing a really big deal of damage to the monster. Now, against the other monsters like Behemoth, that's a really good choice as well with Lennox. Using it against Behemoth is very good because he's a big target, so it's going to be easier to get those hits in. With Wraith, that's another good choice as well. Very good choice. With Gorgon, I would say that's also a decent choice. Kraken, no, not Kraken, but Elder Kraken, that's a different story because Elder is always on the ground. He has to be on the ground because he doesn't shoot from range like Kraken does. So you can do some decent damage there, but Elder Kraken is broken in this game, so you're not going to win that fight. Elder Kraken does the most damage out of any monster in the game because he's broken. Meteor Goliath is also a decent choice, so Lennox can really work with any monster except Kraken, in my opinion. But yeah. So with the way you play Lennox, just basically continuously use your plasma lance. If you're in a dome fight with a monster, just keep using your plasma lance, get it to level 4, but make sure you're not getting hit by the monster because of course if you get hit by the monster, your lance resets back to 0 or level 1 and you have to get it back to level 4 again. So when you're attacking the monster, do your best to not get hit. Make sure hopefully the monster is not focusing you and instead on another hunter. That way, just get behind the monster when that happens. if they're not focusing you, get behind the monster and just focus your plasma lance repeatedly over and over. So, you don't want to be right in front of the monster as they're targeting someone else, because they're going to be hitting you and then your plasma lance is just going to keep resetting to 0. So get behind the monster, use your plasma lance repeatedly, get it to level 4 over and over and over, and just keep hitting them. The monster might realize that they're taking a lot of damage because of you, and they might hit you once, so it resets. That's okay. Just just get it back to level 4 and keep doing what you're doing. When the monster is running away, like kind of the same thing with Hyde, you want to use your machine gun to hit the monster, but don't use it when it has armor, because again, the game is gonna think that that the monster is in a fight with the hunters, and then it's gonna give the traversals back quicker to the monster. So it's gonna get its traversals are gonna recharge faster, and it's just gonna continuously jump and traverse, getting away from you, and it's gonna take longer for you to catch up. So don't use the machine gun if the monster has armor when you're chasing them. Only use it if it doesn't have armor. And I'm sure by the time the dome drops, the monster is not gonna have armor, because hopefully you were doing some health damage during that dome fight. And when the dome drops, you'll be doing health damage instead when it runs away. So yeah. But those are my tips and tricks, of course. Oh, and by the way, with Thunderstrike, you want to use Thunderstrike every time it's available to you. Make sure you're doing it. Honestly, with Thunderstrike, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Use it when you like use it. It's basically an aim thing, Like when you're about to pop Thunderstrike, it shows you where it's gonna land. It's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure it lands near the the monster, and you'll do a decent amount of damage. The Thunderstrike does a decent amount of damage, so make sure you're aiming it correctly right next to the monster. It doesn't have a big range, so you want to make sure that you're landing right next to the monster to do that damage. But yeah, I believe that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully those tips and tricks help you out with the assaults. I will be doing some more for Trapper, Support, and Medic. But for now, that's going to be it for this one. This one was just for Assault, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I also might do some for Monster. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.